One of the other questions sent in was about sort of carbon sequestration, so carbon capture, which you're talking about with your net zero idea that you've come up with. But this, like you just said, there's a few companies that can offer the same solution. Are you guys going to work together on this? Can you share the costs of it, or is it going to be proprietary to each of you about how you go about doing it?
I'm in pretty close contact with the CEOs of those other companies. Again, the key here is, we want to provide, the best set of investing assets for the investor base out there, because again, we feel that there aren't that many great ways to play nickel right now, and as some of the stories that are here, it's good to work together wherever possible. They've been working on certain studies on carbon capture. So, and I know FPX just announced they're working with a researcher out of BC to do some more, at-site field studies in terms of, quantifying that carbon capture rate. But again, stay tuned on that front. I would say, we are definitely in conversations. We're only a few weeks in from that announcement, and I think it would make sense, to sort of, to pool our research, and we do share, our progress on those fronts with each other when we can.
Okay, and the reason I ask is because if a company is to be seen as genuine about something such as this, which is a sort of ESG type solution, net zero is a great initiative, fantastic initiative. I know you've been approached by lots of companies, not necessarily pure mining companies, about it. So I'd certainly like to hear, how you miners are working together to come up with a better, greener solution for sure. I think it's a really big deal. Not least of all because you sort of see the articles we saw this week in the Financial Times, which is a sort of financial newspaper here in the UK. I think reasonably good reputation. And sorry, did you see the article I'm about to refer to? It's starting to talk about nickel.
Yeah, no, I did.
Okay. So what was your reaction to that?
No, I think it's great. We talked about, net carbon with net zero, and in our announcement, we talked about some of the other environmental issues that are tied to some of the other forms of production. So it's been great to see, sort of the mainstream business press really pick up on some of the key themes. Again, something like deep sea tailings was just, I can't believe that, things weren't being picked up on sooner, and getting kind of the attention that I think it deserves. And so, it's great to see these kind of publications actually writing in-depth, detailed stories, and calling out some of the individual companies, something I can't, I certainly don't want to do, but they're in a position to be able to do that. So again, I think if that helps us as an industry end up making, cleaner, greener nickel, then all of us will benefit from it.
I found it, like you, I found it extraordinary that no one's going to pick up on it up until now. But it has a much bigger effect than the industry regulating itself. It needs to be publicized, because if something affects the share price, it seems to be the only time that people pay attention in this industry. We've talked before about mining needing to clean its act up somewhat. So do you welcome these sorts of articles? Are these good for business?
Well, again, I think so. Like, in the end, I think it's interesting if you look at what's happened to cobalt, right? So, cobalt's had its artisanal issues with the Congo. That was seen as a major factor. And again, when it had its, day in the sun to be able to, where the price went up quite a bit, probably too far, too fast. Well, it did go too far, too fast. But, in the end, people focused more on those, those social environmental issues, and as a result, you just saw, the EV industry is, fundamentally retooling and very much accelerating their shift to lower cobalt batteries. So, if you don't sort of, if you are not getting your industry into a position that it can really participate in a healthy way with your downstream customers, then, again, they'll eventually find a way, to use something else that, is more in line with their values and how they want to proceed. So, I think as an industry, it's critical, again, that we continue to listen to the ultimate consumers of what it is we want to produce and make sure we're producing it in a way, that makes them feel good about using it. Because ultimately, if people want to use more nickel, then we'll get a chance to mine more nickel.